this time. Ready?
All right. I don't have anything. There's not a lot of rhythm happening here.
You're listening to Good and Bad with Gabe Gerry, part 2 of Bill Squire's episode. In part 1, we talked about classical music, denim on denim, cheating girlfriends, cancel culture, all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Joe Biden, QAnon, trans.
Was it also AIDS?
I don't think we said AIDS.
Joe Biden, QAnon, trans.
Yeah.
I think both episodes are just going to be that.
Yeah.
They'll have the same
Part 1
title.
and part 2.
Yeah, part 1 and part 2. Thanks for wearing the same clothes for part 2.
Hey, you're welcome. You too. I'm glad you also.
This is my only outfit. Dude, at my last place, you know Mackenzie McGuire?
Yeah.
So we were roommates for a couple of years, and in our last place, we didn't have air conditioning.
Ooh.
And it was during COVID. So we were both like working from home.
Yeah.
And we had like, dude, just like fucking fans, but like we would just like both be just like sweating all day, working from home on our laptops. I was literally wearing like tank tops and these shorts and like all day, dude. It was, but honestly, I loved it because being warm all the time, it just like, you know, keeps your blood flowing.
Duh, that sounds miserable.
I love being.
I lived in the Philippines, so like in most of the places I lived there didn't have air conditioning, and I'll never do it again. I need air
thrive
conditioning.
on it.
No, I'm too sweaty.
I was just in a Sasquatch suit.
Okay.
For work.
For work.
Yeah, like one of our clients is Western Star, the truck company.
Yeah.
And they're doing this promotion where they have a Sasquatch, and the actor dropped out, and they were like, "Gabe, do you want to?"
He's like, "Fuck yeah, I want to be Sasquatch."
Be the Sasquatch. That's me in the Squatch suit.
Nice. That's awesome.
And then
that's so fucking funny.
That's me. Dude, this is me getting ready.
That's a couple more swipes there, and bye-bye.
The first day, because it's so hot. It's yak hair.
Yeah.
It's so hot. So I did it 2 days. The first day during my breaks, we'd like peel the top half off and I'd cool down. Mm-hmm. But because you're so hot, you cool down so dramatically.
Yeah.
And you're sweating, so that makes you cold. Like by the time your break's over, you're like shivering because you're so cold. Yeah. And then you put the suit right back on,
and you're right back to
the same temperature.
Yeah.
And so by the end of the first day, I just felt terrible.
Yeah,
terrible. So the second day, I was like, let's just keep the fucking suit on the entire time.
Yeah.
And dude, I smelled so bad at the end.
Oh, I can.
But
imagine.
I handled like the handler of the suit. She like works in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, let me rewind. The guy that dropped out was the guy that did it at the last event. They needed the Sasquatch, and my boss was like, he was like, can you handle it? Like this is it's gonna suck. Can you handle it? And I was like, who did it last time? And he was like, oh, just an actor from LA. I was like, oh, an actor did it? Yeah, I could do it.
I can do it if an actor can do it.
Dude, honestly, like at the end of the second day, she was like, how are you staying so calm? I was like, I played football. Like, it's no different.
2 days, yeah.
I've been hot.
They've been hot.
You never been hot before?
I mean, because there's a point where you just go, okay, this is just what it is. I'm just hot. I'm just going to be hot.
And my shower was so amazing.
As long as you, like, hydrate, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Bill, you ready?
Yep. Let's do another one.
You already know how the bucket works?
I know how the bucket works. All right. Let's see.
I just realized if anybody ever listens to a part 2 for the first episode they ever watched, they'll have no idea what's going on because I never introduced the show in part 2.
Oh.
So, if, you're winging it if this is your first episode.
They'll figure it out. There's a lot of context clues. All right. This one is cultural appropriation. I think it's this bullshit term. I think that's just growth of society. So I'm going to say cultural appropriation is good. I mean, how much, like, we wear jeans.
Yep.
Like, we wear jeans. You know who started that? Miners in the gold rush. Like, that's...
So I don't want to see any of my Japanese listeners wearing jeans around me.
Right, that's
not... Dude, my culture is not your fucking workwear.
Not your fashion.
Right?
Yeah. I mean... Glass cultural appropriation,
right?
Like,
it's literally jeans.
like like the Copper Ages? Is that like,
dude? If we
like,
could culturally appropriate, we would suck so hard.
like everybody just stick to their own culture. Like
you can never see a good idea.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, we'll try that.
Yeah, like well, Chinese people invented gunpowder. I guess they're the only ones that get to use it.
Right.
Like that's like, and I know we're being very broad here about what culture is. It's not just inventions, but it's also
well, even
there's
the
so
dresses.
much. The dresses but like the fashion and clothes, and I mean, look at how music evolves because people take influences from other music and then intertwine it with other kinds of music, and that's how things evolve. That's literally how evolution works. But yeah, cultural appropriation, I think it's like it's one of those terms that it can be very like I understand the nuance of it, and there are people that are just trying to
pretend there's something
they're not, or make money off of something. I think yoga's
huge. Oh, and it's so funny that a lot of the people that complain about cultural appropriation go to bullshit yoga classes.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but it's also one of those things where it's like, it's out there now though. Like,
now just call it American yoga.
Yeah.
And guess what? Just like a lot of other American version stuff, it's gonna be the dumber version.
Right.
But that's just what it is.
But people are still doing their stretches, so that's good.
Literally,
dude, yeah. Like they're not doing it with malice.
They're just dumb.
They're just trying to take something that is overall a good thing, and there's also not a lot of like the people that are coming here from India aren't coming here to teach yoga. They're coming here to become doctors.
Yeah.
And become the new 1%. So like they're fine. Like overall, they're fine with like, oh yeah, you guys can be yoga instructors. We're gonna be doctors, and then eventually become the majority in this country. So yeah, go ahead and do your yoga.
This is just one that I threw in for the comics.
Yeah.
So we'll pull another one.
All right.
You've been wearing watches recently, Bill?
Well, I wore an Apple Watch for years,
and I'm
still trying to get rid of the tan line.
Just color it in with like a Sharpie or something.
I don't think they have that tone. Filing for bankruptcy. It's great. I did it.
You've done it?
Yeah, I had to do it. When I first started doing, well, it was probably 5 or 6 years into comedy, and just living off credit cards a lot, and then got into like I was just in, I had like $40,000 in debt, and
I think I'm struggling over here with like my 5.
Yeah, that's nothing. Nothing. It was a lot of debt, and I just was like, all right, this is how do I
that was
deal
all
this?
credit card debt.
It's all credit card.
Oh,
yeah, it's all credit card debt, because I was literally like, I don't know how I got a credit card that like I got one that had like a $15,000 limit, and then one that had a $30,000 limit, and I'm like, I've been a stand-up comedian this whole time.
Yeah.
How did you guys give me this much money to spend? But they did, and I did it. I did spend it, and maxed it all out, and I filed for bankruptcy. And
so what does it do?
I mean, when I did it, I didn't have anything, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, I didn't have a house to lose. I didn't have my car was paid off. Like, everything was like, so there was no assets. So it just kind of reset everything. Like, wiped out that money that I owed the credit card companies, and they don't care because they still get paid.
Sure.
It's just, you guys pay for it.
Yeah. Well, they make it $40,000. That's your problem.
Yeah, right.
If it were like $40 million,
yeah,
that's the bank's problem.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, so, they just it was a pretty painless process considering I did it young, like, and it sucked for a few years because. But
after that?
I mean, it takes like 8 years to get like back into like good graces and for it to come off of your record. But I was just like, if you just live a cash life and aren't worried about things being like, I wasn't trying to buy a house or anything like that. I was able to survive. And like,
were you constantly on the road?
Yeah. And like and most of my money was cash in hand, so like it didn't really affect me. Like I could like. I'm terrible with money. Like I'm not a good, like I've gotten way better, but like then it was just like
We've
whatever.
also gotten more money.
Yeah,
it's easy to be good with money when you got a little bit to play with.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's just, it's not the worst thing. It can be a lot worse. And again, I didn't lose anything.
Right.
I just wasn't able to get credit cards for a few years, but I don't care about that.
Yeah.
I don't.
How old were you when you filed?
25 or 26.
Oh, that's my god.
Yeah. So maybe
when did you start? When did you start traveling for stand up?
Within the first year, like I went all in. Like 22, yeah. I didn't go to college or anything like that. I just like.
Well, the Philippines was your college.
Kind of, yeah.
It was like when LeBron went to Miami.
Yeah, exactly. So I spent
all the green cards sucking.
Yeah, right. I just first year built up an act and then went and just did a lot of like shitty road gigs, but I was out there working and I was 22 years old, so I didn't care that I was like, if I was making $500 in a weekend, I felt like I had all the money in the world,
right?
Because it was also 2005 at that point, and
that is all the money in the world.
It's a pretty good amount of money.
Yeah.
And then I started selling merch, and then I started making like making $1,000 a week doing, between what they're paying me and what my merch. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm killing this. And then I got married, and that like pushed me to another level of like booking more. And like, so I was gone a lot, but it was.
There's no greater innovator than necessity.
Yeah.
If you need to get booked, you'll find a way to get booked.
Exactly. And you'll do whatever it takes. And you'll, it wasn't my most creative years, but it was like
because you're just hammering the same stuff.
Same stuff. Like, and that's why like the stuff in Just Say Your Jokes is so smooth because I was doing that material for years. Yeah. But it's really like, and it would just fucking murder. Yeah. And especially in the rooms that I was doing, because I wasn't like in big city. I was doing a lot of like rural places, bars and shit like that. So like,
well, I guess 2005 probably weren't too many breweries, but
they're starting to show up. But
I've already told myself I don't want to record anything for like at least another 5 years.
Yeah,
like I want to be so smooth with it.
Yeah,
because a lot of the feedback I got from people I shopped the special out to, that was their biggest feedback. I was like, you're kind of choppy. Yeah, it's obvious you're new. Yeah, like just get smoother with it. Was the gist of most of the feedback I got, which I was like totally. I mean, fair.
Yeah, that's
So yeah, I want to be like one line at a time, like Gary Goldman, like Jim Gaffigan, like everything just flows, no stoppages. Yeah. So 5 years, so I'm gonna be like in my early 30s next time I record something.
Yeah, and you also don't have to stick to that either if you feel like it.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I already have jokes. So I was like, if I record a good set with this joke, I'll just post it because I don't care to keep it.
Right. Yeah. Also, like, I mean, the way people consume things, like, it's like I posted a bunch of stuff that is going to be on my next special, but I'm just like, I'll just put it up there just to see what the feedback is on it, and it didn't. And if it takes off, it takes off. But most of the time, like unless you're really pushing stuff out there, it's not going to get into the algorithm. No one's really going to even see it. So, you can just we think everyone's paying attention to us, but they aren't. Like, it feels like everyone should be like, oh, you don't know this one joke from my act?
Yeah. Nobody gives,
Yeah, even if, like, other comics, like, they've seen a bunch of stuff that I do, and then, then they'll see me do it in a different venue where it's, like, smoothed out, and they'll be like, oh, I like the new stuff. I'm like, it's the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, you saw it in a good spot.
Well, also, it's just, like, the online stuff is an important marketing tool.
Yeah.
But nothing beats, like, when peer-to-peer, nothing beats, like, the in-person work, networking, like, finding work that way. Because, like, you'll hear it all the time. People complain all the time about internet acts getting booked.
Yeah.
Like, well, they're not even funny. It's like, well, they did the marketing half.
Yeah.
You don't respect them on the in-person half. That doesn't matter as much because they're
selling tickets.
Yeah. And I think at this point, I'm more focused on the in-person part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but it's good to have both, and it's also good to learn that marketing part because it's so hard.
So bad at it.
It's so bad at it. I'm still not great at it.
Dude, I'll see like a sponsored post from a comedian.
Yeah.
That's still horizontal.
Yeah.
No subtitles.
Dude.
Terrible joke. No mic audio. You're paying for this?
Me and one of my buddies, like we send each other the sponsored, like whenever we see one, I'm like, here's one, and we'll just be like, good God.
That's a good.
I'm like, you're paying.
That's a good use of $25 a week there, brother. Also, it's targeting other comics.
Other comics.
They're not coming.
Yeah.
They're not coming to your show.
I'm not going to see someone that's got 2,000 followers and be like, oh, you're the next big thing. Oh.
Yeah. You gotta know marketing.
Yeah, marketing's, and it's tough, and it's also like creating, the brand or whatever you are. It's very important because then it draws people in. Like Andrew Schultz has figured it out in a way where like I don't even know his comedy, but I know the dude knows how to get the attention of the people that he wants to get attention.
Yeah, but also that's such a classic example of I was an overnight success. It only took 12 years, kind of thing.
Oh well, I'm not saying he did it overnight. I'm just saying he worked at it, and then when it started to snowball, it built. Stavros is another one that has done a wonderful job with that, where he
gives them what they want.
He gives them what they want, but he also embraced aspects of who he is that like. Rather than being a guy that's just like, oh, I got to get this tooth fixed. He's like, I'm going to just not have a front tooth for a couple of years and fucking lean on it. I'm going to, grow my bald hair out and just let it get all weird and nasty. Like, and just like, not just be a funny guy, but like looking funny and just leaning into that. Like to the point where I got a bowl cut for the radio show a few years ago.
Awesome, dude.
And I was like, there was part of me that was like, man, I should keep this bowl cut because
dude, because the touch of gray is doing it for you.
Well, like, but it looks good. But it's not funny. But if I kept the bowl cut and I become the bowl cut comic, it's good marketing.
It's a sacrifice.
It's a sacrifice.
You could be like Bobcat. With the bowl cut.
And then like I can still tell all the exact same jokes. I can be the exact same person, but I'm the guy with the bowl cut, and people will be like, "Why the fuck is he got a bowl cut?"
Dude.
Oh, he's not even talking about having a bowl cut. He just has a bowl cut. Like that's
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's part of me that is like, maybe I'll go back to that just because.
Dude, you want to get funny? You want to get funny?
Gets attention. Yeah.
Lose your fucking hair. Yeah.
I got one little spot. I'm not gonna show you where it is.
See, the touch of gray is working for you.
Yeah.
All right. You're gonna...
Yeah, I'm not trying to appropriate your culture by losing my hair.
See? I'm a halfie.
Yeah. Concession stand lines. Bad. They're very bad. I hate lines.
I love standing in line, dude. Yeah. I was thinking about this at the ball game the other day.
Wait, you like standing in line?
I wrote this down at the baseball game. Because dude, so many of my core happy memories growing up are about standing in line.
Really?
Baseball games, amusement parks, fucking the line to the water slide at the swimming pool. Dude,
I guess the anticipation is
part of American culture. If you're a good American, you can stand in line.
You know what I hate the way people in New York say stand online.
What?
You never heard them?
No.
They say like stand like like Woody Allen movies and Seinfeld, they say stand online versus stand in line.
What?
I know, it's gross. It's so
never
gross.
even registered.
Yeah, it's like I'll pull up a clip.
But dude, they make it fun.
Yeah.
American capitalism makes standing in line fun.
I still disagree.
They got ads. They got TV screens. You get to watch all the people. They don't have to do that.
I'm too impatient. I can't. I hate a line. I hate it so much. And
we got little games on our phone now.
I'm gonna say like because of I've had some like celebrity privilege, and not a lot, but like where I went to Cedar Point and got to like go in the exit,
really,
and just get on the rides and go. Now, if I have to wait in line for like 15 minutes,
they did that. I mean, no,
like it wasn't like because I'm Bill Squire. It's because I work for the radio station, and we were doing a promotion. It's not they're not like, well, we're gonna bring Bill Squire. It's like I just was the one that happened to be in this promotion.
It's like getting a suite at the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not my suite.
It's not my suite. Yeah, and like, but I've had like things like that, and then like getting to games like, you know, early and just get like we just broadcast from Progressive Field.
You can't go back.
Yeah, before the gates were even open, so like we get to like go down on the field and shit like that. You get to just walk around and like talk to the vendors before they're like, "Oh, it's not open yet, but we'll make one up for you real quick." And so, it's just I can't go back to being a line stander. Like I'll do it, but I hate it.
That's
so I'll search for like if I'm at a baseball game, I'll search for whatever kiosk has the shortest line. I'm like, well, that's what I'm gonna drink or that's what I'm gonna eat.
Yeah.
Just because I would rather do that. And now the guys walking around selling beers take cards, which is a game changer.
Yeah, that's nuts though. I wish they kept cash only, keep it exclusive.
They still do cash. There was one guy, he's like, he was a cash only guy, and my buddy went to buy a beer and he's like, "Oh, I'm cash only." He's like, "Wait, you got Venmo?" And we're like, "Yeah, we got Venmo." So he paid this cash. He paid to that guy's personal Venmo. I'm like,
really?
Okay, I think this guy's just skimming now.
Yeah, that beer never happened.
Yeah,
that never ever happened.
And I love that,
dude. I love. So I work at Jacobs in the summer. I love.
Oh yeah, I've seen you there.
I see a friend. Yeah. Just fucking poor shot.
Yeah.
The lineup this summer is kind of.
Because everybody's going to Blossom.
Sure.
There's a lot of acts that should be going to Jacobs that are going to Blossom. Like I'm going to see Bare Naked Ladies.
Yeah, they just came to Jacobs last summer,
and they should be Jacobs again. I don't want to go to Blossom.
Would you rather be in a full Jacobs or like a half full Blossom?
Right, exactly. I'd rather be, and also the backdrop of the river and
awesome.
I love Jacobs compared to Blossom. It's just it's so much more fun and such a better vibe, and it's also 6 minutes from my house.
Yeah,
and you can't beat that.
I was never like active in downtown Cleveland at the time that we had the water trolley.
Oh yeah.
So like, cause I work literally you could, like across the river.
Yeah.
That building is where I work.
Yeah.
We can watch concerts from the building, but if we want to actually walk around to you got to go up the Detroit Bridge down to the flats. It's terrible.
Yeah, I can't believe they haven't brought that back. One of the
regular bridge.
He used to work at the radio station, but he would drive the water trolley.
Yeah.
Like in the summer, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Ray?"
Dude, that's so sick. It's just so upsetting. Like you're after a concert, you're in the parking lot. Yeah. The east or the west bank of the flats is kind of dead. There's a couple. There's like couple good bars and McCarthy's.
You got McCarthy's. You got Harbor Inn. Love Harbor Inn.
Dude, it's after the concert. It's like 11:00.
Yeah.
You still want to go out. Yeah. You see all the bars on the other side of the flats. You're like, oh, they're so close. Let's just walk over there. Yeah. And then as soon as you get past the cars blocking all of you, it's the fucking river.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's so excruciatingly disappointing. You're like,
I can't believe they didn't bring it back yet.
Are they gonna?
I don't know if they are.
The weekends in the summer, dude. That's like the entire city's over there.
Yeah,
they should.
They should bring it back. That was great.
I'll swim,
dude. I fell in that water.
No shit.
Yeah, we went kayaking. It was me and Cody Cooper, his wife, and his grandma, and we went kayaking down the river. And then as I was going to get out of my kayak, the guy wasn't. Like, he's supposed to be holding it stable, and he just kind of, like, being lazy. And so I just, like, tipped right over, fell in, and, like, had to pull myself up out of the water. And then...
Did it feel gross?
It was so gross, dude. It was so gross. And, like, there's, like, cigarette butts and Band-Aids all around. And, yeah. And I get out of the water, and then we were supposed to go to dinner, and Cody Cooper's like, well, let's go to dinner. And I was like, no. I'm gonna go home and shower and then we'll go to dinner. And he's like, "Oh, come on, don't be a pussy." I'm like, "I'm not being a pussy. I just fell in one of the dirtiest rivers in Ohio. I'm going to go wash off real quick. I live not far away from here. I'm gonna go do that real quick." And he's like, "Oh, you're such a baby." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like, and also, I'm not gonna go sit in a restaurant soaking wet. Yeah, that's insane. That was an insane like.
Table for 4?
Yeah.
No,
you're not. You're not allowed in this Margaritaville.
Well, maybe if you were. It depends on what bank of the flats. Maybe they let you in.
Well, like there was no way I'm going to even try that. Like it was fucking disgusting.
I've been told. I love like I've heard horror. The only stories I've heard about like whitewater rafting with Cody Cooper are from people who should have never been whitewater rafting in the first place.
Yeah.
So they're all horror stories.
Yeah.
But I fucking love that crazy shit.
Oh yeah,
but
not
I don't
me.
know. I gotta get on that, man.
Yeah, go for it. But that's not my thing. I don't. Adrenaline is not for me anymore.
Like junkie, man.
Yeah,
you ever been skydiving?
No, I have no desire.
Dude, it's so sick.
I like the only adrenaline I like is like when you take a nap so good that you wake up and you're like, I'm late for something and you're not. That's the only adrenaline that I want.
That was me yesterday.
So, yeah, that was me yesterday too.
That's actually me before every Friday show.
Yeah. I just like that nap where you wake up and you're just like, oh fuck, I gotta be somewhere. And you're like, oh wait,
yeah,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
Because
that just means you were just in like a nice deep sleep.
I just listened to,
and then you're awake and but then you pop straight to like, now I'm fully awake.
This morning I was like doing chores and I was listening to a podcast about napping. Literally, it was about napping, and I guess there are 4 stages of sleep. REM is the 4th stage, and then it goes. They break it down. They go, there are 2 types of sleep: REM and not REM.
Yeah.
It was like that's a pretty weird way of.
Yeah.
It's like there are 2 types of wood: oak and
not oak. Yeah.
But no, it's like not REM 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
1 is like 5 minutes fluttering. You're falling asleep in class, so
Yeah.
you're like popping up and stuff. That's the first one that lasts like 5 minutes. The second one is like when you're starting to get in there, and that's if you wake up and you're groggy.
Yeah.
That's when you're woken up during stage 2.
Okay.
And then stage 3 is like when the adenosine, which is like the chemical that coffee blocks, it makes you tired. That stage 3 is like when your body starts filtering out your adenosine.
Okay.
So if you wake up and you're alert, that means you woke up during stage 3.
Yeah.
And if you're groggy, you woke up during stage 2.
Okay. And then if you wake up during stage 4?
I think you're also alert.
Okay.
But you go through the cycle like 6 times in a night.
Okay.
So like your REM finishes up and then you go back to 1.
Oh, that's why you can wake up at weird stages of it and be like wide awake or
like stage 2 you could sleep through fucking anything.
Yeah.
I think stage 2 and 3 you could sleep through anything.
Yeah.
And then REM, because you're dreaming, your brain is actually active.
Yeah.
Like when you get into REM, your brain isn't active. So that's why it's harder to wake you up.
Mm-hmm.
So during REM sleep, I think it's easier to wake up, but you're still alert because because stage 3 like shoveled out. So
The other night, I'm pretty sure my girlfriend was sleepwalking because whenever she goes, like there's in the master bedroom, there is a closet and then the bathroom and the closet all together. Mm-hmm. And usually as she goes to the bathroom, she's good about closing the door and like turning like, so like you'll see that the light's on, but you just see it through like underneath the door. This time the door is like wide open and the light was on. And I'm like, that's different. And then when I went in there to go to the bathroom, one of my shirts was like off the hanger. The hanger was like stuck up, like kind of between all the other shirts. Like she grabbed it off there and like threw it on the floor. And I'm like, why was my flannel on the floor? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, I didn't do this. And she's like, I'm like, well, the light was on. I think you might have been sleepwalking. And she's like, oh. I'm like, do we got to get cameras now to like catch you sleepwalking? I'm like,
dude,
we're gonna have to.
That's too scary for me. As soon as you start getting the black and white security cameras and people are walking around, that could be a demon.
Yeah,
she might not be sleepwalking. That could be a demon.
That could be a demon. Also, I'm like, well, if we do this, you got to stop sleeping with your tits out because I want to be able to show people this.
Yeah, sure. I was trying to. So many, like, back to the fucking premise thing. Yeah. So many things I write down, I was saying in my head, I was like, it's going to be like 10 years before I even get around to talking about this. Just because I have just so much shit to talk about.
Yeah.
But, like, one of them was, like, about how my girlfriend's so much smarter than me. People always tell me my girlfriend's smarter than me.
Yeah.
I think that's a little insulting.
Hey, no one's ever told me that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's insulting.
Take that, babe.
Yeah, I think that's insulting to me.
Yeah.
Because am I the type of guy I've never met anybody that goes, you know what my idea of a good time is? Hanging out with a fucking idiot.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's no one's. But I was like, yeah, if you think women are so smart, you ever talk to one while they're half asleep? You ever come home drunk in the middle of the night after hanging out with the boys, and your girlfriend pops her head off the pillow, and she's like, Put the bagel away. Yeah, you're not so smart now, are you?
Your brain's not functioning properly. My girlfriend has an incredible memory, and it's one of those things where she can remember like everything reminds her of something. So like if she'll be watching something and remind her of, and she'll be able to recall all these details. But then she's also the type that like will walk into a room and be like, why am I in here right now? Like it's very funny how like black and white her short-term memory garbage, but her like long-term memory, like it's insane, man. It's insane the stuff that she can recall, and she'll be like, oh, remember this from even the stuff that we've been through in the past year, and I'm like, I don't think that was me. I don't fucking remember anything. Like,
dude, I do feel bad sometimes. Like I'll say like I don't remember who told me, but blank, and it's almost always her.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention at the top, Bill's on the radio every day.
Yeah, weekdays.
100.7 WMMS.
Yep, the Alan Cox Show, afternoons 2 to 6:30, or check out the podcast or the
Bill
YouTube.
Squire Show.
Yeah.
Do you do streaming sites or you just YouTube?
For what, like the
podcast?
I mean, it's on YouTube. It's on Spotify and iHeartRadio and everything. Like all the different like podcast apps.
I do all the streaming just because you got to, but I think this is a visual show.
Yeah.
I think YouTube is the way to go.
Especially when I'm on with this.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. The gray looks good.
I'm aware. I know. The gray's good. But the bulk of gray. Whew.
Bill Squire is your social tag?
Yep, Bill Squire. Yep.
Not Billy Squire.
Not Billy Squire, no.
You drew a bad hand with that one.
My stupid parents didn't pay attention to rock music.